Good, YouTube. Welcome back. I've been MIA, missing in action. Why? Because I got tired as hell. Don't worry about it. I'm here to do something a little different. We're going to go over some charts here. Because I got some haters saying I can't do TA. Well, that's not true. Check this out. We got Wanchain here versus BTC pair. Binance. So Binance gives me a good enough picture, right? So we're going to zoom out here, guys. Guys, just to give you a quick example as to why I like to be a cycle investor and I like to invest on bottoms. And I mention all these things not just because I'm giving you a nice story for you to hear. I'm telling you my psychology, how I think about this stuff, because an asset, even a good asset released in a bad downtrending environment, does badly. This thing went down approximately 95%. So it's 5% of its previous value, okay? Now, let's zoom in where we previously were, all right? For those of you who are saying that crypto is still in a bear market, there's something called a bottom trend line, okay? That's all you need to understand the movement of a market over long periods of time, right? So we have about November 2018 here down to present, which is August, middle of August 2020 or whatever, beginning of August 2020. So to show you, this dotted gray line here illustrates the trend of the price movement. This bottom gray line here indicates, as you can see, it touches all the bottoms pretty much, the trend line down. That changed right around, let's see here, August 2019. So you can see the slope flatten out. So basically, let me give you a flavor as to why this investment is attractive to me. I'm going to walk you through my thought process and what potentially may be something good to put your money in. Not financial advice, do your own research. Y'all are adults, take your own risk. This is all about how I go about evaluating potential cryptos, potential setups. So you can kind of understand how I approach problems, because this channel is centered around you being able to fish for yourself. I don't want to give you a fish. I want to give you the skills it takes to get the fish for yourself so you can eat for a lifetime. We feasting. So let's go. Okay, I'm going to zoom all the way out on the all-time chart here. Let me just do a real quick measure imprecisely. And I'm just going to go to the end of the body, right? From the bottom to where it is now to the top where it has been in its all-time high, which was 2018 during the start of the bear market. Okay, so this means this thing could have went much higher if it was in a bullish scenario. But knowing that it was released 2018 and it reached up to a 2,000, almost a 3,000%. You see that? You see that number on the screen here? 3,000% from where it is now to up there. Wanchain has survived the entire bear market. The entire bear market. They're still with it. They're still here. Meaning, if they are ever back in a bear scenario, a bull scenario, which they are, I suspect they will pass this price. I've done enough research into Wanchain to know that they're just not a pump and dump. Not financial advice. Do your own research. Y'all are adults. Okay, but let's get into it. Let's zoom in a little farther here so you can understand not just the whole macro setup. This is what I call the macro setup. On the All tab, and you see the last, what? As long as the asset's been born, or at least listed on that exchange. That ensures that if we have strong enough hands, we can make some moolah. So here we've zoomed in a little bit, and you'll see that these dotted gray lines on the bottom of the structure, this is the downward trend line, okay? And you'll see that it starts at a steep decline, flattens out, pretty much over the entirety of, or a good part of 2019. Until recently, up until May, when we start having a very, very slight grade or incline in this trend line, okay? Now let's move in here further, and we'll go over all this other stuff in a second, y'all. Give me a second. Okay, and then you see, currently, we have to watch where this price goes. It could always crash below here, but this last line here, let me make it all big so y'all can see that in red. Okay, this last line here is what I expect. That if this next price decline, because it had a pretty big pump, this thing was about, what, 18% pump, even more, I think. So it's not gonna blow, and I say it, the price is not going to blow up and keep going. It's going to come back and touch, especially because this has been such a sticking point in the price history of the asset. When it does, and it confirms and it stays above this red line, I then have more confidence in knowing that this trend line here is no longer continuing at this current slope. I know that it has increased in severity or steepness. Okay? And what happens when you have a bottom trend line that continually over time increases in its steepness? A parabola, guys. It's just gonna at one point, it's just gonna shoot up, up in a way where you can't see it. When that point comes, I'm not sure, but you get the trend, right? If the line starts correcting up, and the trend is it's correcting up, it's done so twice so far. At some point, it's gonna keep getting steeper and steeper and steeper and steeper. And the steeper the price gets on the chart, the more hyperbolic it gets, the more explosive, the more intense it gets, because people love rising prices. They love to buy in rising prices. This is why it's so important to buy on bottoms. You see where we are right now? I can't even see it right now. They said it's the time to be greedy is when blood's on the street, not financial advice, but that's what I follow myself. So look, we can have something like this where it rises up, starts coming down. We're already encountering some of these problems here, trying to break out of the support built on this structure, right? Because we had a very violent breakdown from here, about 30% correction, right? So this is going to be a sticking point. On July 25th, 2020, this thing took a massive spill over the course of about a week or so, or half a week, to 30% down. Okay, it ranged for a good month or so, and it's recently started to shoot up yesterday and into today. The shoot up is comparable in size to the breakdown. Look, guys, this is what I'm telling you. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. Dip down here, held down, dips up. That's indicative of an asset. When it comes up and pops up like that, like a beach ball being held underwater, that's indicative of oversold. Now, James, what are these two boxes here? Why are you showing me this? You talked this whole damn time, and you haven't told me why these two are here. Well, guys, this is where price isn't just the whole story. So the ADL is the advanced decline line. This is the amount of unique buyers or market participants, buyers and sellers, involved in trading this asset on this particular exchange. Why is this important? Because knowing how many people are participating in value exchange in this asset tells you the other half of the story, that the price just does not, right? What happens when the asset drops and it shouldn't? You're looking at and it's bearish. Other people who know the whole story, including the volume, including the other factors that you can't just get from price, see it as an opportunity, guys, right? So as we see the price drop here, the amount of buyers in the market starts to increase over time and continues to do so and never stops. So what this tells me here, guys, is from this double bottom, even though it's a bearish formation, this other part of the equation here tells us that everyone thinks that was a mistake by some traders and or retail investors. Panic sold, whatever. And they took the opportunity to long the bottom, accumulate, even while the price is dipping down. Because that's the name of the game, guys. You don't have to be the smartest. You don't have to know which crypto is going to be the best. You just have to realize when people make mistakes and capitalize on their mistakes. Because there's a buyer and a seller in every aspect of the market. And sometimes sellers sell at the wrong time. This other box here, the historical volatility. So this is an average, and I'm not quite sure over the amount of time, but this is an average on the volatility as a percentage experienced in this asset, right? So when you see big bumps in this chart, it means that this was a non-typical type of movement for the asset, right? Because some cryptos move spike much more than others, right? So one, the price tells you obviously if the asset's going down or going up, and that's indicative of how the buy orders and sell orders on the market books. This middle ADL, or advanced decline line here, tells you how many people are participating in the price action, even if it goes up or down. And the historical volatility tells you this jump that has occurred, or this drop that has occurred in price, is it typical of this asset? And what I see here is continued market participation regardless of what the price does. And I'll just keep going here. And continued spikes in vol regardless of what the price does. So we have a Wing pattern here on the historic volatility. And we have an even longer prolonged Wing pattern on the advanced decline line. And we're at an all-time high in participants trading this asset on the advanced decline line. This all correlated to a price pop that was attributed to an increase in volatility. We knew this increase would come because the advanced decline line was telling us that there was more people participating in general, meaning the asset was garnishing more and more attention. Why am I telling you guys this? I want to help you interpret what all these lines and all these terms mean so you can understand it, because guys, the truth of the matter is this stuff is not that complicated to understand. They just put it in a language that's hard for you to understand. Ain't that a bitch? Wanchain's supposed to drop back down. I believe Wanchain will drop back down to the support line in gray here. That's about the 0.002898 Satoshi level. Okay, reason being is, I believe, because where the move stopped last time and it just wicked above and quickly dropped below, I believe the same will happen here. And in fact, I believe on the 4 hour, we're going to jump to the 4 hour, I believe it is happening right now. And you can see right here. We have a sell-off occurring currently right around the area where it happened last time. And a little higher this time. That's good. We're inching up. But look, because guys, we never broke out above and retested here, quickly breaking above it and coming back to check that yes, the market agrees that we will not move below this point. That did not occur here on Wanchain. And because it has not occurred here and it shot up so significantly, about 30% or so, I expect this thing to dive down back into or around this area here or lower. I would pick up the price back here and reload at the bottom, right where the 61.8 is, mind you, because that's historically golden pocket. Traders, people who are involved in investing know that there's a good chance that there will be a bounce if you're involved in a bull run of that asset. So therefore, good enough for me. It could always go a little bit lower, but hey, who cares, man? Like, we're on an uptrend, and you see that we continue to get an increase in slope of the support line on the bottom. So for this thing to go lower and beyond this red line, to take significant significant losses in my perspective, would be unprecedented. It'd be a change of the structure, and in that point, Bitcoin's screwed at that point. So look, I think it'd be smart. Not give me advice. This is just a trade idea. See if the price comes back and hits this level right here at the 61.8. Let me get this out of the way. At the 61.8, make sure it doesn't dip below, and then it'll probably range for somewhat, trend up, and then shoot higher. And once we shoot higher from there, guys, I have the next resistance right at about 30% from there, and once it gets out of there, we'll be shooting up to 100%. It's pretty easy, you know. We're getting up to some trying times for Wanchain when it comes to resistance levels, but this thing, guys, remember, this thing has been coiled so tightly, and it never really had a bull run. Interesting. Let me know in the comments if you guys like to learn more about that. I'm all over that. But more importantly, I'm DubDigital. Crypto news, macro trends. Talk to you later. Peace.